What do you know about Egyptian food? In this video, we're eating our way through Cairo, Egypt. Stick around for a multi-course breakfast, a look inside a local bread factory, and an Egyptian culinary favorite, grilled meat. It's the morning here in Cairo, Egypt, and we are in the Zamalek neighborhood, which is a slightly more upscale neighborhood in Cairo. So we're at a little restaurant called Zooba that is known for its traditional Egyptian breakfast. From my impression, it's similar to a Turkish breakfast in the sense that you're served a basket of bread and a selection of different dishes to eat the bread with. So we're eagerly awaiting our food to come out now, and we're gonna discover it with you. So here is the assortment of the traditional Egyptian breakfast, and there's so many little plates that it's pretty much like hanging off the edge of the table. So there's a lot to process here, so I'll dive in. Of course, we have our Egyptian bread. Let's back up and talk about Egyptian bread for a second. Considered the backbone of Egyptian cuisine, it is served with quite literally every meal. A lot of it is made in factories like this one. Dough is quickly shaped, left to rest, then baked for just 1 minute in a conveyor belt oven. The resulting fluffy, versatile masterpiece is then distributed to restaurants all over the city. This is eaten with almost every meal. You can see it sold on the streets, it's served at restaurants. It's very common, you see it everywhere. Right here is some mashed fava beans with tahini on top. Here is a Egyptian breakfast salad with tomato, cucumbers, and parsley, some eggplant and a big chili pepper, another type of fava bean, and this is white cheese and tomato, several different types of falafel, some pickled veggies, raw greens, and the most exotic French fries right here. So which to start with first? That's always the challenge in set breakfasts like this. It all looks so good. I'm gonna go for some fava beans. These are really commonly eaten here. People love them. I believe it's a pretty traditional breakfast food. So I'll grab some of this bread. It's really fluffy, soft, and still warm. And we'll just go for it here. They look really, really creamy. I'm gonna get some of the tahini in there. Okay, cheers. It's really creamy, really warm, super comforting, and that tahini adds like that nice nuttiness to the whole dish. Let's try a falafel. That's very common here as well, traditional breakfast food. Let me do what the locals do here, which is eat it as kind of a falafel sandwich. So they put it in the bread, and then they smash it like this. And I'm gonna add some tahini in here. Cheers. Oh my God. That falafel is amazing. So the falafel here is a little different. Instead of being made from chickpeas, it's made from fava beans. And the shape of the disc itself is a little bit different as well. And it's a lot crispier than falafel I've had before. Okay, next I'm gonna try one of these dips over here. So I'll take this delicious fluffy piece of bread. This is white cheese with tomato. So I'll get a heaping dip over here. Trying not to knock anything off of the table because it is just packed. Cheers. That tomato is so fresh. Yeah, it's a very mild white cheese, slightly creamier than cream cheese. It's almost like a blend of yogurt and cream cheese. Really good. Let's go for this one. This is another type of fava bean, mashed as well. You can see there's some oil around it and then some crunchy fried onion pieces. So I'm gonna get a big ol' bite going on. Grab some fried onion, just like really get in here. It almost looks like guacamole. So this is cold fava beans. So this one's warm, and this one's a cold one. And I think the green comes from the different herbs they blend in there. It tastes like parsley and cilantro. And then the fried onion adds, you know, that nice oily crunch to it. Egypt is a country that loves meat. You find grilled meat everywhere you go. But if you're a vegetarian, don't be scared. You can still get a really amazing local meal like this here. Okay, that was absolutely incredible. Let's go outside, walk around, and see what's next. It's rush hour in Cairo, baby, and people here are horn happy. Like, no reason whatsoever. Beep, beep, beep. Honk, honk, honk. All day, every day.
After breakfast, we take a stroll through Zamalek, one of Cairo's more upscale neighborhoods. Despite its posh reputation, it's not immune to the constant traffic and honking found throughout the city. Chaos is a constant here in Cairo.
From where we're coming from, Zamalek, this seems to be a hangout spot for a lot of teenagers. They're sitting by the water, drinking Pepsi, doing their thing. And it's really beautiful from this vantage point, but if you look a little closer, there's definitely some garbage floating around in the water. But this is it, everybody. One of the most famous rivers in the entire world. We made our way back from Zamalek to downtown Cairo near our Airbnb. We're at a grilled meat restaurant called Beggah. We've eaten here once before, and I'm really excited to show you the food. It's incredible. It's coming out soon. We're eagerly awaiting it. So just wanted to share a little bit of my experience. I know this is a food show, but as a woman traveling in a patriarchal country, I think a few tips for visiting Cairo would be really helpful. First of all, let me preface this by saying that I'm traveling with my husband, Lenza, so that makes things a little easier. If you are traveling on your own or with other women, I would be really conscious about exploring the city on your own, as it can be really overwhelming and there are a lot of men on the street. Customs are really different, the dress code is really different, so just know where you're going, and I really recommend having a guide, or really, I hate to say this, but a man with you. It's really helpful here. And just want to clarify, even though that is a note of caution, I would not be deterred from visiting at all. I really enjoyed my experience. For the most part, people have been incredibly welcoming and friendly, and the culture and food and history here is just so rich that it's an incredible opportunity, and I feel really grateful, and I do know how lucky and privileged I am to even come here to begin with. Back to the fun stuff. We've gotten our order of meat, and we've gotten a mixed meat platter. Food like this is super popular in Cairo. There are restaurants all over that specialize in different types of grilled meat, sausage, as well as different types of soups. So first and foremost, there's some accompaniments that come with every meal. One is the Egyptian salad with tomato and cucumber and parsley as well. There's also a side of tahini that you can use to dip the meat in. Of course, you have Egyptian bread, And here we've also gotten a meat broth with big pieces of tendon inside. I'm gonna start with the main attraction and tell you a little bit about it. So here we have a big old piece of liver. There's also beef sausages, or maybe lamb sausage. I'm not 100% sure, but I will try and let you know soon. There's big chunks of beef as well, and kofta, which is a really popular grilled meat. It's made from minced beef and then shaped on a skewer and grilled that way, and that's how it ends up looking like this. So I'll start with that since I'm already here, and I'm gonna go ahead, dip it in the tahini. You can see it is glistening with oil and it's still really hot. Looks really good. Cheers. The meat here is gamier than in the US. So there's a much more, it's a richer flavor, it has much more depth. And this is also spiced. So it's really, really savory. And some of the common spices they use here are cumin, coriander, pepper. So I'm tasting a little bit of that here. Now on to the next thing. I'll try the liver. Liver is really, really popular at grilled meat restaurants like this. You can see this one almost looks like it's breaded a little bit and fried. I am not the biggest fan of liver, generally speaking, but maybe this is the liver that will change my mind. Okay, that's real good. It almost has, it reminds me of a schnitzel. So it tastes like it's breaded and fried. And so you get that whole thing going on. And the liver itself is not muddy or too gamey at all. That's actually really, really good. I'm very surprised. I like that. That is the best liver that I've personally ever had. I'll put a little bit of sausage in the Egyptian bread, dip it in the tahini. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. That is 100% lamb sausage, and it is delicious. It's spiced, but not too heavily. Really, really, really yummy. There's some tomato and onion here, so it's picking up a little bit of that flavor. Super, super good. Really impressed by this meat plate so far. Last but not least, we have this very exciting soup in front of me. And you can see there's some, what looks like chili oil floating on top of it. It's a really rich, creamy color, but it's actually just a simple meat broth. So you know with tonkotsu ramen, it has the same kind of creamy look to it, and it just comes from slow stewing meat and fat and tendon. The tendon doesn't have too much flavor, but you kind of eat tendon for the texture of it. The soup is really interesting. It's got a rich, meaty flavor, but then the dominant spices are clove and pepper. So it's got a little spicy kick and has almost like a cinnamony hint to it. It's really good. Soup is my favorite food, always, hands down. Where there once was meat, there is now a bed of parsley. That was really, really good. So much meat. About to go in a little meat coma right about now. Oh. All right, let's go. Thanks so much for joining us on our food tour of Cairo, Egypt today. We hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we will see you next time. We don't speak English.